Okay, cool. Let's make a start then. Cloud Foundry Foundation Technical Oversight Committee for, what is it, the 27th of June 2023. First up, welcome to Amelia and Chris, and goodbye to Eric and myself at the end of this. Which is a weird sentence. I appreciate. So agenda for today then. Actions from last week probably aren't any. We'll hear from Amelia, coincidentally, from App Runtime Platforms. Have a look at some PRs, then we will use the rest of the time to pick a new chair and do any other business. Is there anything else people want to add to the agenda before we crack on? No, as always, throw in any PRs that you think I've missed. I only found one. I know. Stephen's had another one. Okay, quickly then, PRs from last week. Well, there wasn't a meeting last week. Were there any, not PRs, sorry, actions. And there were no actions from the previous week, so we can just skip all that. Then Amelia, floor's yours.
Sure. I put my outline of what I'm going to talk about in the agenda, so if you're in there, you can follow along. And maybe you went to CF Day last week. Maybe you got to travel to Germany, unlike me. But I gave a big talk on the updates of ARP, so you can read some slides and look at some great cat emojis about all that we did. I would say the biggest things are the readiness health checks, right? So the basic idea is like another type of health check that will either make your app routable or not routable, but it won't actually bring your app down. Right now, a lot of people don't love how quickly our health checks just bring apps down and restart them somewhere else. I originally opened a proposal in CFD. Beyhan suggested making it an RFC. Thank you for poking me to do that. And I've seen many of you have left comments already. Thank you for doing that. I'll make sure that they get resolved. You were very fast at writing comments. Let's see, we can, let me just open up the RFC. I'll stick a little link in here if you want to just in the chat. So some of the open questions that were there was basically like what logging and metrics would be helpful for app devs and operators. So especially if you have thoughts on that. Basically, we've designed the like, oh, how do we want it to work under the hood? But we have not designed the, okay, what is it going to look like in the CF CLI? How is this, how are all the error cases going to be exposed to users, that types of thing. So, I mean, I welcome feedback on all of it, but those areas especially would be great. Oh no, some of the markdown doesn't look perfect. I'll make sure to fix that too. Let's see, one thing I've been talking about in many updates with the, I go back and read my like previous updates every time I do this just to remember what I told you last time. And it's like, man, I've been talking about AZ-aware routing for a while and nothing really to show for it yet. But we're just taking a step back to make sure we really understand the problem space before we build something too hastily. So there's like kind of two open questions that I put in my CFD talk about asking if there's anyone in the community with like a smaller single zone CF deployments that maybe you want to consolidate into multi-AZ ones, but are holding back for some reason, or if you have a multi-AZ deployment and you're having issues with that. We're just trying to understand the problem space more before building something. So. And then the biggest thing on the horizon that I care about is, of course, Go 121. I believe it's coming out in August. So we'll be prepping for that very shortly. And yeah, I think those are the biggest things going on that I'm aware of in my working group. Any questions?
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you very much, Amelia. Is there, weird question to ask now, is there anything your working group needs from the TOC?
Not currently. I think one thing that I did mention last time is I had met with docs people. Of course, I have some docs in my working group. Greg has some in his. I think there's some also in foundational infrastructure. And I think I personally would love to get docs in its own working group. They come to me with a lot of issues that admins, would be able to deal with. And it'd be nice if they were their own admin or, in control of their own future and then having to explain why it's anyway. So I think that's a direction that I would love for them to be pushed in the future. But it's not pressing. I know they're ramping up again after being severely understaffed for a while. So.
Yeah, makes sense. I think. See which way the TOC decides to go, I guess. Okay. PRs then 591 should be reasonably quick. So 591 is the RFC about moving cloud native build packs back into CF for VMs. The comment period was supposed to close today. I don't see any other comments on it. Eric, you have some requested changes. I'm guessing either they haven't been addressed or you've just forgotten to dismiss it.
Yeah, I think like my current review status is cleared at this point. So
okay.
Like I think if anything is remaining from that, it's like those other discussion threads. So I think that it's fine.
Okay. Any objections to merging this then? Since we're at the end of its comment period.
No, fine. I just approved it.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I forgot we need to get approvals on it before I merge it. You're an absolute cowboy today. Right, that's sufficiently many. Yeah, final call for objections before I merge this. Nope. All right, and that's merged. 626 then.
That's a very small typo fix. Actually, there were some issues with the org automation and the access rights for this CLAW repository. And the root cause seems to be a strange behavior of these, I forgot the name already, these tooling that we use to assign when the case is not matching. Some things are changed, some not. Long story short, I tried to fix it. It's in the working group charter, so I tried to get a +1 by Greg, but I think we can also merge it. It's nothing content-wise. It's just spelling, and hopefully then the next run of the automation will fix all problems.
Okay, well, I'm going to approval on that and we'll get it merged. That is sufficiently many. Let's merge that. Right. Final call for any PRs that people want to talk about that we've missed. No? All right. Right then. Picking a new chair then. If memory serves, it's been a while, hasn't it? The way we do this is nominations and votes, and it's all just done here, isn't it? We don't go through the other voting system, do we? If memory serves. Can anybody remember?
I think we just discussed at about this time last year and had a vote as the collective TOC.
I think there was a slight tendency to prefer, let's say, members that don't come from the big companies.
Yes, I think that's probably still quite sensible. So for that reason, I would happily nominate Chris McGowan to take over if you are willing and able?
I unfortunately cannot. Why I'm still waiting the legal counsel approval for the general membership. They implicitly said I could not be the chair because I cannot participate in the governing board activities because of the larger scope of the governing board. So unfortunately, being a government employee, I have to listen to the lawyers.
Okay.
That's fair.
Well, that is unexpected.
Yeah, a lot of it's because anything that could involve a vote that's fiduciary in any way, shape, or form of a private entity, a government employee can't be involved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Andy?
We can't see the flop sweat.
The UK government is not quite as strict.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised to know if the correct lawyers were asked. Maybe they would have had some more objections. Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't involved in that side of things, thank God. Okay, then, is there anybody who would wish to nominate themselves in that case? No? Fantastic. How do we want to do this then? Would it be fair to give people a week to think about if they would like to do it, or if they would like to nominate somebody else, and we can talk about this again next week, because I appreciate people don't like nominating themselves in public. That is not a fun thing for anyone to do. So if we maybe give people a chance to talk about it, think about it for a week, and reconvene next week. And then if we come to a conclusion, we can hand over in that session. Does that sound agreeable to everyone?
Would it be 2 weeks? Because next Tuesday is the 4th of July in the US. It's a federal holiday, so people are off.
Aha. Yes, of course it is. Yeah. Okay, then that's probably a safer bet, isn't it? Yeah, I'll make a note of that in that document for next week. I'll do this afterwards, so I don't keep messing up the document. Okay, yeah. So in 2 weeks' time, then I'll put the call out on Slack, and if you want to either put your nominations or volunteering directly in Slack, or if you want to DM me, and I can organize it with Chris and whatnot, then I think that's probably the fairest way to go.
Does that mean you'll be back in 2 weeks to lead the meeting?
Yes.
And if we never pick one, you might lead them all.
I like that plan.
Yeah, I guess that is the way, isn't it? By default.
I don't know, Andy. You might be removed from the TOC chair role by no longer being on the TOC now.
Yeah, I guess there isn't actually. Without reading the fine print, I actually don't know if we have provision in there for that. There you go. That's an edge case that we didn't think we'd bump up against. Okay, so if everybody's happy for us to reconvene in 2 weeks, and consider things in the meantime, then let us do that. Any objections? No? Okay, then the next one will be not the 4th of July. It will be what? The 11th? Is that how dates work? Yes, 11th of July then. Same time, same place. Right. Let's reconvene then, folks. Okay. See you later.
See you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.